the U.S. President to gut the protected species rules. The plan takes scientists and science out of decision making on species status. The BUSH, I'm sorry, it's a four-letter word, administration has said it plans to let federal agencies just simply decide for themselves whether highways, dams, mines, and any other construction projects might harm endangered animals and plants. The proposal, which of course does not require the approval of Congress, would reduce the mandatory independent reviews that the government scientists have been performing for at least 35 years now. And, of course, developers have welcomed the plan, while environmentalists say it's a very bad idea. The Interior Secretary, Dirk Kempthorne, said late Monday the changes were needed to ensure that the Endangered Species Act would not be used as a supposed backdoor to regulate the gases blamed for global warming. In other words, no regulation of any gases that is causing global warming and climate change. Just forget about that entirely. In May, the polar bear became the first species declared as threatened because of climate change and global warming. Rapidly warming temperatures are expected to melt the sea ice the bear depends on for survival. So the polar bear is actually headed for extinction. The existing regulations create unnecessary conflicts and delays. Who needs them? Added Kempthorne. The proposal would bar federal agencies from assessing the emissions from projects that contribute to global warming and its effect on species and habitats. The Interior Department cited its recent decision on polar bears as an example. While listing polar bears as endangered due to melting sea ice habitat, it also argues that science and scientists at this time cannot draw a direct causal link, or how about any link at all, between greenhouse gas emissions and distant observations of impacts affecting species. In other words, just let them go extinct. Because it's all about money, I suppose. As a result, it is inappropriate to consult on a remote agency action involving the contribution of emissions to global warming, because it is not possible to link the emissions to impacts, blah blah blah. Doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, I guess the current president is just going to gut the whole thing. Why protect anything at all? Why worry about global emissions? Down the torpedoes, full speed ahead anyway. The changes represent the biggest overhaul of the Endangered Species Act since 1988. They would accomplish through regulations what conservative Republicans have been unable to achieve in Congress: ending environmental reviews that developers and other federal agencies blame for delays and cost increases on projects. Just circumvent the whole thing. So I guess the current president, he's busy just taking apart everything. Everything is good that's ever been done, it looks like. Yes. The changes would apply to any project a federal agency would fund, build, or authorize. If adopted, these changes would very seriously weaken the safety net of habitat protections that we have relied upon to protect and recover endangered fish, wildlife, and plants for at least the past 35 years. Yes, 35 years, said the Executive Director of the National Wildlife Federation's Wildlife Conservation and Global Warming Initiative. The new ruling takes decision-making on endangered species listings out of the hands of scientists and wildlife professionals at agencies such as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, and instead put those decisions in the bureaucrats, the politicians. That's really a good idea, you think? No, not at all. It's the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Period. The director of the Fish and Wildlife Service, H. Dale Hall, said the changes will help focus expertise on projects that have serious repercussions for species. We are trying to be more efficient, which means not to do consultations that result in a difference for the species, whatever that means. The proposal was drafted largely by attorneys in the General Counsel's offices of the Commerce Department's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the Interior Department, according to a source with the National Marine Fisheries Service. The two agencies' experts were not consulted until last week, the official said. Between 1998 and 2002, the Fish and Wildlife Service conducted 300,000 consultations. The National Marine Fisheries Service, which evaluates projects affecting marine species, conducts approximately 1,300 reviews each year. The reviews have helped safeguard protected species such as bald eagles, Florida panthers, and many species of birds. A federal government handbook from 1998 described the consultations as some of the most valuable and powerful tools to conserve listed species. In recent years, however, some federal agencies and private developers have complained the process takes too long and increases construction costs. Yes, it is all about money, isn't it? From the least to the greatest, they've all been given over to covetousness and greediness. Senator Barbara Boxer, Democrat, California, chairwoman of the Environment and Public Works Committee, called the proposed changes illegal. This proposed regulation is another in a continuing stream of proposals to gut everything good that's ever been done and to repeal our landmark environmental laws through the back door. If this proposed regulation had been in place, it would have undermined our ability to protect the bald eagle, the grizzly bear, and the gray whale. Like I say, in other words, why protect anything at all? This is like the fox guarding the henhouse. The interests of agencies will outweigh species protection interests, said an attorney representing environmental groups in the lawsuit over the wildfire prevention regulations. What they are talking about doing is gutting the Endangered Species Act altogether. And these are more signs of the end times transition days. And there are many, many signs.